10 things everyone eventually realizes about the INFJ. The INFJ personality type is an interesting creature to say the least. With distinctive quirks and ethereal empathy, it takes a lot more than just a quick conversation with this private type to really read them. In fact, it takes a considerable amount of time to get to know an INFJ, yet, over time, there are a few things that people eventually come to realize. Welcome, or welcome back, Psych-o. Today, we'll be talking about the 10 things people eventually realize about the INFJ personality type. Before we start, have you liked and subscribed to our channel? Go ahead, and be sure to click the notification bell while you're there so that you never miss a video. Alright, jumping right into the video, starting with number 1. They're genuinely good people. INFJs aren't the only ones skeptical of other people until proven otherwise. In fact, as much as the INFJ relies on behavioral patterns and personality quirks to observe people, when it comes to being observed, they're not the easiest to figure out. Seemingly reserved and serious from the outside, the individualistic INFJ has an intimidating essence about them that makes people feel like they shouldn't be stepping in their lane. But when an INFJ is eventually approached by a brave contendant, they'll be pleasantly surprised to find that the INFJ is one of the most genuine people once they get talking. They're honest, non-judgmental, and willing to lend a hand anytime, anywhere. Eventually, new people that enter an INFJ's life end up realizing this about them, but at first glance, some people may expect the worst. Number 2. They actually have some pretty good ideas. From business inventions to planning adventures, once an INFJ warms up to someone, they begin to feel more comfortable sharing the elaborate ideas their introverted intuition comes up with. In fact, from the surface, INFJs can seem like they have nothing to contribute to conversations, usually taking a back seat to observe and analyze rather than play along. However, once an INFJ has someone one-on-one, or if they feel comfortable enough in a group, they won't hesitate giving their 2 cents. The interesting thing about the INFJ's 2 cents, however, is that they're outside-of-the-box thinkers, which means these insights and ideas can be quite surprising to some people. In other words, people begin to realize that INFJs aren't as dull as they seem, eventually appreciating the refreshing outlook an INFJ can bring to any conversation. Number 3. They don't get caught up in mainstream interests. In relation to their out-of-the-box thinking habits, the INFJ is overall quite the out-of-the-box character. With a reluctance to follow the status quo and craving for independence and individuality, every INFJ marches to the beat of their own drum in their own way. And it doesn't take too long to figure this one out. Whether someone brings up the latest reality TV show drama or what the score for last night's hockey game was, most of the time the look in an INFJ's face would have said it all, sometimes like, "I have no idea what you're talking about." Of course, all INFJs have different likes and dislikes, but most of the time, their interests are difficult to relate to for the average person. This INFJ realization also comes through when it comes to unconventional lifestyles, going against societal expectations, and even how they physically represent themselves. Yes, INFJs care what people think about them, but if they're not harming anyone in the process, they'll take lengthy measures to maintain their sense of uniqueness. Number 4. They care what people think. Yup, we said it, INFJs. You care what people think about you, don't you? Most INFJs have yet to even admit this to themselves, but in reality, most people with this and other sensitive personality types can't help but to care what other people think of them. Stemming from the fact that INFJs are so hard on themselves and keen on perfectionism, the opinions and beliefs that other people have of them can really affect them mentally and emotionally. Although they're good at hiding the importance they place on what others think of them, often making it seem like they're unfazed entirely, that's just not always the case. Passive-aggressive comments, constructive criticisms, and even the opinions they've heard through the grapevine can all take a serious toll on how an INFJ sees themselves, especially through adolescence and early adulthood. Plus, since this analyzing personality type is so familiar with observing others, they can easily be convinced that they are being observed or even judged, when in reality, most people are only concerned about what they're doing themselves. Number 5. They're always looking to better themselves. A healthy INFJ is wired for continuous self-improvement, and eventually, that becomes pretty obvious for the people who know an INFJ. Although they seem to have their lives in order from the outside, on the inside, the INFJ sees all the nooks and crannies of their life that need improvement or a change in direction. This perfectionist personality type is on a never-ending road to self-improvement, changing directions from time to time but always en route. For example, an INFJ may seem like they're completely confident in their skin, when deep down inside, they're actually really hard on themselves in terms of diet and exercise. Or they may seem to be happy in their high-paying yet demanding job, when really every night when they get home, they're searching for something that suits them better. INFJs always have something new up their sleeves, and while this comes as both a positive and negative trait, people eventually realize how hard the INFJ really is on themselves and where their accomplishments are fueled from. Number 6. They can handle any truth. INFJs are emotionally sensitive, yet contrarily, they're also incredibly strong. Because this intuitive type is able to see situations from multiple perspectives, things like bad news, harsh confessions, terminations, and even tragedies don't take a toll on the INFJ like they do some other personality types. Considered the advocate type, INFJs are always looking to support people no matter what is thrown their way. They can hold back their emotional side in order to provide clear, unbiased advice and an open ear with no exaggerated reactions. In fact, even if an INFJ is incredibly shocked, disgusted, or taken aback by the information they're being told, they can keep a poker face composure like no other, which they use to provide the safest place possible for people to let it all out. Not only do people eventually realize this awesome quality of the INFJ over time, but this is also exactly what encourages people to turn to them when they need a composed reaction to the unexpected hardships in life. Number 7. They think a lot. INFJs are thinkers, and once someone gets to know an INFJ, this habit becomes a lot more apparent. Sure, INFJs may intentionally leave their deep introspections for their alone time when there's the least amount of distractions, but sometimes they just can't help themselves. For example, habits like blanking out in social situations, asking deep and introspective questions out of the blue, and taking longer to make simple decisions are few of the many tendencies the INFJ's active mind can result in. While these habits and the many others that come from this thinking tendency may be distracting for the INFJ, and possibly even annoying for the people in an INFJ's life, it definitely comes with its positives. As a matter of fact, the people that can overlook the shortcoming of these INFJ habits will be met with some incredibly reflective conversations, less compulsive decision-making, and a deeper look into the world around them, all of which couldn't be made possible without a lot of internal thinking. Number 8. They don't need to seem interested to be interested. Like we said before, the INFJ is rarely one for over-exaggerated reactions and fake enthusiasm. Yet, unfortunately, a lot of societal interactions are based around fakery and insincerity, which can make the INFJ seem like a tough crowd. Although composure definitely helps when it comes to reacting to unfavorable news, when it comes to everyday conversations, INFJs may seem underwhelmed or even uninterested despite their amazing listening skills. If someone is talking and not looking for advice, an INFJ may not reply at all, allowing the engagement of their eyes and body language to reassure the speaker of their attention. Over time, people eventually realize and appreciate that this is how the INFJ listens. They may not gasp when they hear that you locked your keys in your car this morning, but they will certainly be wondering if you still need help getting them out. Well, that's it for today's video, psychos. So, what else do you think people end up realizing about you over time as an INFJ? Let us know in the comments below. Also, don't forget to leave us a like, Share this video with your friends and also subscribe to our channel for more Psych-o videos.